Namaste, Nwaya, and welcome to this roundtable discussion on mindset and behavior towards recycling. My name is John Wilson, and I will be your MC for today's event. Now, it gives me great pleasure in welcoming you all here this morning. To our chief guest, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, the Honourable Viliame Gavoka, welcome. To the CEO of Tourism Fiji, Mr. Brent Hill, and the Director for Waste Recyclers Fiji Limited and Founder for Pacific Recycling Foundation, Mr. Amitesh Deo. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament and the Assistant Minister for Local Government, the Honourable Lenora Ngeringatambua, who's here with us this morning. We would also like to acknowledge our major partner, Tourism Fiji, in bringing this event to Sheraton. Thank you very much. We'd also like to acknowledge our official partners, Swire Shipping, Pacific Energy, and Fiji National University, as well as our support partners, BSP Life and Pure Fiji, for the tremendous support you have all given towards this event. I would now like to request Akosita from Pacific Recycling Foundation to please garland our chief guest. Naka. Honourable Gavoka, on behalf of the management and staff of Pacific Recycling Foundation, I would like to ask, as a token of our appreciation, we would like for you to accept this gift for officiating today's event. Vinaka. Thank you. Recycling isn't something that we talk about on a daily basis. Most times, it's a foreign concept to most here in Fiji and the Pacific. Is it because there is a lack of awareness, or we're just lazy and have been taught that everything is meant to be put into the rubbish bin from when we were young? And that is why, and I'm sure most of you here in this room do not practice recycling, and that is why we are very happy to see all of you here this morning so we can share with you the struggles that we're facing in this space. With these words, I would now like to ask Mr. Amitesh Deo to give his opening remarks. Binaka.
Thank you. Good morning, all. The Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, Honourable Viliame Gavoka, fellow panelists who will be joining us on the stage for the roundtable discussion, Honourable Lenora Ngeringatambua, Ms. Fantasia Lockington, Mr. Lee Howard, and Mr. Kavnil Lal, invited guests, recycling advocates, and those joining us virtually. Welcome to day one of our Global Recycling Day celebration 2023. Today's roundtable discussion is extremely important to us for many reasons. Today, we will dive deep into important aspects of recycling, and in particular, why recycling continues to be disregarded as an afterthought in discussions and practices. As recycling advocates, and individuals working closely with those involved in informal waste picking, we will talk about our challenges and the pushbacks that we have gone through for the last 28 years of our journey. My fellow panelists will share their views of their respective sectors on recycling, as well as bridging gaps in policies and practices. I would also like to acknowledge the changing political environment in Fiji. Mid last year, we chose the same roundtable discussion with the same segment and same topic discussions. We were told to water down several aspects of our roundtable discussions, including segment, discussion points, and even changing the name of the event, so that certain agencies could participate. However, for today's roundtable discussion, I'm happy to inform that we did not have to water down any aspect of our segment. For us, recycling advocates, this itself represents a huge victory. In order for positive change in the landscape of waste management and recycling in Fiji, open dialogue is key. We acknowledge the Deputy Prime Minister and the government of the day for creating an environment of open dialogue, transparency, and accountability. This change in the political environment has also meant that we now have different stakeholders, including the tourism sector, willing to talk about recycling. As recycling advocates, our call for everyone to recognize local knowledge will remain intact. So will our request in ensuring that progress in the space of waste management is based on consultation, especially those representing the grassroots communities, such as those involved in informal waste picking. With those words, I welcome you to today's discussions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deo. To now give his address is the Honorable Viliame Gavoka. Mr. Gavoka is a hotelier by profession. He has over 30 years of experience in the tourism and travel industry. He has held several executive-level positions, including as the Director of External Relations, Shangri-La Fijian Resort and Spa, the CEO, Fiji Visitors Bureau, which is now Tourism Fiji, and General Manager, Amanutha Island Resort and Spa. During the term of his career in the private sector, he has held several chairmanships and board positions on statutory organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to welcome the Honorable Viliame Gavoka. Vinaka.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament and Assistant Minister for Housing and Local Governments, Honorable Anorangira Tambor, Excellencies, Director and CEO of Waste Recyclers Fiji and Founder and Director Operations of the Pacific Recycling Foundation, Mr. Amit Esdial, esteemed panelists, industry colleagues, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Dolabina everyone, and a very good morning. I was just relating to Amit during coffee that here we are today talking about plastic. And as you can imagine, I come from a generation that saw the beginning of the arrival of plastic in our society. Prior to that, everything that we had was woven basket, whatever we wanted to carry, it was all done from natural stuff. And when the plastic arrived, we said, "Wow, look at this! Things are going to be easy. Look at all this new creation." So we celebrated at the time the arrival of plastic and all its other subsidiary components, and discarding our baskets and all those things in those days, not realizing that one day we would be in this situation where plastic is threatening most of what we cherish. So it's quite sitting there today having coffee. I was saying, "Wow, okay, I've seen this. And indeed, it is something a challenge for all of us that we can all reverse to safeguard what we cherish the most, where we live in." It is an honor to be here to mark the third Global Recycling Day celebrations in Fiji, and the first of two campaigns. One being in support of the recycling movement, and the other, the declaration of 18 March as the official National Plastic Free Day. Ladies and gentlemen, recycling is not a new term, nor a new movement. It's been there for years. Academics have done research, scientists have made drawn findings, activists have been devoted, and governments have invested, and every year more commitments are being made. But if you look back, you will see we are paying more attention to our environment. The growing focus, as you will see almost every day on the news, is for many reasons. There's more being built, more people in this world, more production, and more consumption. Some argue that's the cost of development and economic growth. But ladies and gentlemen, we know that our natural resources are our greatest assets. The land that we live on, build on, and feed on the water we drink, and is home to some of the world's vast marine biodiversity. None of it should be taken for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from Sila village. It's on the coast of, very close to the Shangri-La. It is a small village in the district of Lubui-Nandronga. So my earliest memories from childhood were by the ocean. You should come and visit me one day. I live 20 yards from the water, so come visit me one day. And in those days, we weren't taught about climate change as an immediate threat. We were taught respect. We were taught to respect the Vanua and our oceans, just as we did our elders and mothers. We were instilled with these values because, like most of the people of Fiji and the Pacific, it was our source of livelihood. Like any other social problem, the environment is top of the agenda, and the question is, how do we manage it in a way we can both benefit and protect? It's a big question, but an important one too, because again, our livelihoods and that of our future depend on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a plastic-free Pacific plea. This year's Global Recycling Day theme is Plastic-Free Pacific, a plea. I cannot think of a better word than plea because we really are appealing to the emotions of people with urgency. I've often wondered about all the programs that we have run. I always remember traveling in a vehicle and following a bus. And our former Prime Minister had this message on radio about doing the right thing and looking after the environment. And behind you're traveling behind the bus and things fly out of the bus. You know what it's like, and I'm saying, gee, isn't that radio playing in that bus? Someone, don't they hear this? But that's it. We have to connect emotionally with these things. And I've often wondered on what it is that we need to do. And I believe what we're seeing here is to connect emotionally for things to make a difference. The world is producing twice as much plastic waste as 2 decades ago, with the bulk of it ending up in landfill, incinerated, or leaking into the environment, and only 9% successfully recycled. Plastic consumption has quadrupled over the last 30 years, and production doubled from 2000 to 2019 to reach 450 million tons. These truly are shocking figures. So like all of you, I wear this label. Are we wearing all this today? I wear it in support of the recycling movements, and I wear it proudly. I'd like to be known as one of the champions for the environment in this area, in this plastic, the plea to recycle. It has to come from all of us. Speaking today with Amitas, there are our elders in the villages who have seen the change in the environment. They have noticed that some species of fish have disappeared. They remember what it used to be like in terms of the vegetation, the vegetables, and what they eat. And these are the people that we need to target. And then we educate the young. And I believe if we do this well, it'll resonate and result in what we want, and awareness, take ownership of this challenge. I am told that the proceeds from the national effort will go towards enhancing Pacific Recycling and Foundation's recycling program to outer islands and marine areas who we know are more vulnerable. On the government vision, ladies and gentlemen, in his maiden speech to Parliament, you would have heard the Honorable Prime Minister share the need for extensive public consultation on the problems of pollution and environmental damage. polluted shorelines and coastal areas, clogged drains, contaminated waters and rural area and urban landscapes, polluted by thousands of tons of dump rubbish and waste, including mountains of plastic. This is a stark reality. And because of the seriousness of these challenges that have direct impacts on our economic prosperity, waste management will also be on the agenda of the upcoming National Economic Summit that is being held very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have established that each and every one of us here plays a part in the solution as a shared responsibility. We do not realize the impact of these little actions in our daily lives and the wider impact this has. We need more advocacy, not only in boardrooms like this or forums like this, but right down to a community level. We need to inculcate a duty of care, one that brings about a change in mindset. And not only physical change, like using a reusable travel cup for your coffee, but adjusting our way of life so that you don't even consider using disposable cups in the first place. But recycling alone is not the answer, and is only a third of the solution. As much as possible, you should reduce on reuse and ask yourself if you really need the products. In tourism, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the tourism sector, our greatest selling point is our natural beauty and pristine environment. So much so that our new tourism brand is Fiji, where happiness comes naturally. This speaks to our natural assets and culture and what we are seeing as a new travel trend. Visitors want to move away from the masses. They want climate-friendly travel and they want to get back to nature. That's a demand. So how do we offer that? Ladies and gentlemen, about 80% of all tourism takes place in coastal areas. Experts also tell us that if current trends continue, our oceans would contain more plastic than fish by 2050. That's only down the line. Because of plastic pollution in the ocean, even the most remote islands on the planet are now saturated in plastic. We can be part of the solution. This is why our marketing arm, Tourism Fiji, has partnered the Pacific Recycling Foundation. We want to get as many tourism operators as possible to mainstream recycling into the operations. Tourism Fiji has been working with the foundation in raising awareness on best practices, which include the Hub Recycling Program. I'm told the Saratan Fiji Resort is coming on board soon too. Thank you, Niraj. We're now looking at having the Hub recycling bins strategically located at places such as Wailoaloa, Jet Point Nandi, and Natandola. That there is the power of partnership. Just going back to resorts on the coastal areas. I've often wondered about this, and I mentioned this to my colleagues today. Most tourism is in the rural areas, and most of the workers come from the villages into the hotel environment, which are well kept, where the discipline is there and the environment and all that. But what has always saddened me is that when they go back to their villages and to their settlement, they don't take back what they create in the hotel, help create in the hotel. Something. There's a disconnect there somewhere, and we really should find a solution to that. They come here, they see how well organized everything is, but when they go back into their villages, something happens. They forget all that. They see plastic all over the place. They don't. Hoteliers, we don't walk past any paper. We pick up everything, wherever we are, and we just want it also to be inculcated into our people. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, on the eve of Global Recycling Day, I urge you to actively participate in the Foundation's recycling activities. We are the first country in the Pacific to have a recycling hub, at strategic locations. And this is something to take advantage of. Tomorrow we will see another first, the declaration of Fiji's official National Plastic-Free Day. So the message is clear. Like every other crisis or call to action, we need partnership and shared visions. And that vision of a plastic-free Pacific and a plastic-free Fiji starts with us. Now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gavoka, for your speech and for those encouraging words. I'm sure that most of us, or all of us in this room, will go back to our homes, to our organizations, and take that message that he has shared with us this morning. Before we conclude the formalities of this event, I would like to make note that the Pacific Recycling Foundation team have lapel pins sold outside from the entrance that you came in. And if you don't have a pin, I would like to encourage each and every one of you to please purchase one and join the movement with us.